The Forgotten Melody. The house stood still on a quiet evening, bathed in the golden hues of the setting sun. Inside, Tom lay sprawled on the windowsill, his tail lazily flicking back and forth. His days of relentless chasing had grown fewer. The fiery pursuit of Jerry had mellowed into a sort of routine. The mouse hole in the wall was quiet, but Tom knew Jerry was always watching, ready to pounce on any opportunity for mischief. But tonight, something was different. As the moon rose and painted the room in soft silver light, Tom heard a faint sound. A melody, delicate and haunting, floated from the mouse hole. Intrigued, Tom crept closer, his ears twitching. Jerry sat inside, strumming a tiny guitar. Tom couldn't remember the last time he'd seen Jerry so still, so absorbed in something other than outsmarting him. The melody wasn't just music, it was a story, a tale of endless chases, moments of triumph and defeat, and an unspoken bond forged over years of rivalry. "Where'd you learn that?" Tom asked, breaking the silence. Jerry looked up, startled. For a moment he considered retreating into the shadows, but something in Tom's voice stopped him. "An old friend taught me," Jerry replied, his tiny voice carrying a weight Tom hadn't expected. "Back when I still had time for friends." Tom's whiskers twitched. "You mean before me?" Jerry nodded. "Before you, but not in the way you think." Tom settled down on the floor, his massive frame looming over Jerry, but without menace. "Tell me about it," he said softly. Jerry hesitated. He wasn't used to sharing, least of all with Tom. But the moonlight and the music seemed to strip away the layers of their roles, leaving just two tired souls who'd spent too long pretending they were enemies. "It was a cat like you," Jerry began. "Smaller, older. He didn't chase me to catch me. He chased me to keep me moving. He said the world was too dangerous for a mouse to stand still for too long." Tom listened, his usual smirk replaced by a somber expression. He thought about the countless times he'd chased Jerry, the traps he'd set, the narrow escapes. He wondered if, deep down, he'd been doing the same, keeping Jerry on his toes, making sure he never stopped moving. "What happened to him?" Tom asked. Jerry plucked a string, the note hanging in the air like a question unanswered. "Time happened," he said. "One day he just stopped." They sat in silence for a while, the unspoken understanding between them growing stronger. "You know," Tom finally said, "I don't think I've ever said it, but it wouldn't be the same without you." Jerry looked up, surprised. "You mean that?" Tom nodded. "Yeah, this house, this life. It'd be boring without someone to chase." Jerry grinned, his usual mischief returning. "Well, don't get too sentimental. I'm still going to outsmart you tomorrow." Tom chuckled. "I wouldn't have it any other way." As the first light of dawn crept into the room, Jerry struck the final chord of his melody. It wasn't just a song anymore. It was their story, one of rivalry, friendship, and the unspoken bond that had always been there, waiting to be acknowledged. And for the first time in a long while, they both felt at peace.